which is very strange to think about. We've been doing the show for almost 6 years. As I was uploading the shows to the new, I don't know whatever you would call it. I've been uploading it to Anchor, and so when I saw the episode that we had Will on, and I was like, holy shit, it's been since like episode 9 or 11 or some shit like that since we've had a guest host. So it's gonna be weird. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's edition, the 180th edition of the Level Up Show podcast. I am your host, Derek Vance, who's burping a lot. With me, as always, is my brother from another mother and father. It is Ryan. Hello, Ryan.
I thought you were going to use that on Tony.
No. Tony is not someone who is always with us, unfortunately, so he doesn't get that distinction.
He's always in your mind, though, right?
He's always in my heart, especially when I'm taking a shit. Joining us from the great state of Iowa, it is the first-time caller, second-time listener, is Tony Walchel. Hello, Tony. Thanks for joining us this evening.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I've listened to every episode, and I'd like to collect on my payment for the time lost.
Your payment is being a guest host on the show at least one time, so I'm happy to pay you by letting you be on the show at least once. Don't fuck it up.
All right, I'll try real hard.
Good, I appreciate it. It's been a while since we've been around. We are still in the early parts of January. As the two of you know, we have yet to do our Game of the Year show, which is normally something that we spend about 4 hours doing. We've had some schedule hiccups. We had New Year's happen. I have job issues. I was dying last week. I lost 7 pounds in 36 hours from nonstop shitting, not watching nonstop, but just nonstop shitting. It was a brutal.
Whoa!
It was a brutal night.
You should have watched nonstop. It might have cured that.
I think I slept more in those 36 hours than Liam Neeson slept his entire life. It has been, it was a lot of sleep and a lot of shit in that day. I didn't eat anything.
What sucks though is like, because I was sick too right before around Thanksgiving, and I lost about the same amount of weight, but you just gain it all right back.
I've yet to, thank God. It's been a week since I've been sick, and I've gained 0.9 pounds back of the 7 pounds I lost. So I'm okay until I drink all this beer.
Yeah, I put it all on for you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Somebody's got to.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a whirlwind of trying to get a new show popping at you. So Ralph is out on assignments. That assignment being climbing hills and trying not to die. And so hopefully he will be back next week to talk about Game of the Year, which will be a 17-hour show. The longest show.
He's trying to find the Game of the Year on the hill, isn't he?
He said they had eyes, and I told him that was a terrible pun, and so we moved on to different puns.
There's a lot of raping in those movies.
It was a lot of graphic rape.
Hopefully he's not encountering that on the hills, but
he's not out there like trying to wrangle horses and kill sheep and skin them and stuff, right? I mean, he's like Red Dead.
He's just fucking the sheep is what he's doing, I think.
Oh, great. Yeah.
I
haven't got to that part of the game.
The epilogue of Red Dead's you just fucking sheep. John Marston, sheep fucker. That's what it is. Spoiler alert. But yeah, Ralph was out, and Tony has gracefully stepped up in his place to talk to us about some video games and some news and what we've been playing. And why don't we start out the same way we do most weeks, and we'll talk about some video game news. Tony, you like Metroid games?
I played Super Metroid on the SNES, and I've been playing that Messenger game, which I hear is Metrovania, but no, I mean that is the most 2D platformer I get.
Did you ever play any of the newer Metroids from like the GameCube era?
No, I didn't play Metroid Prime. Didn't play whatever they were called, Metroid 4 or whatever.
The trilogy, yeah. Ryan, are you into the Metroids?
I always liked the way the Super Nintendo ones looked, but I never played them. The only thing I've ever played is a demo. I think I played like a demo of it in Target when I was really, really young.
I played a little bit of Super Metroid on the SNES Classic, but that's about it. But everyone's pretty excited about the new Metroid Prime. They talked about that at E3 2017. They at least showed the logo. Has not said anything more about the game. However, there's been a Czech retailer, Czech is in the country, that has leaked supposedly the release date of the new Metroid Prime game, Metroid Prime 4, claiming that the release date is coming out, that the game is coming out November 29th of this year. Now, again, that could just be a placeholder date, like most games that don't have actual dates will sit there on December 31st. November 29th is usually a big holiday or big release day rather for Nintendo, as they like to at least put one big game out before Christmas time and get a really good push.
Close to Black Friday, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is. I think it is Black Friday. If not,
do they normally release stuff on Black Friday? I thought they normally had it out before Black Friday.
Yeah, they're normally. I mean, they're Friday release dates. The 29th is Black Friday, so it might just be that they're trying to capitalize on all that pandemonium that happens in retail establishments. Tony knows well, just like I do, as from the old Best Buy days, how crazy those days can be. So that might actually be real. Again, you're trying to put your faith into a Czech retailer, may or may not be real. But what do you guys think? Is Metroid Prime coming out this year?
I think that's probably pretty accurate. I mean, they, like you said, they do their holiday releases typically right at or right after Thanksgiving. So it's like they had Smash Ultimate this year, first week of December. So seems about right.
Did they? And this is, you think they're doing Metroid Prime 4, not the re-release of the trilogy?
Yeah, that's what this the retailer's claiming, that this is for Metroid Prime 4, not the trilogy re-release.
I think we'll probably know for sure at E3, because they've shown no footage of this game at all yet.
Nothing.
Yeah, so
I could see them doing a Nintendo Direct about it, just to get a little bit more insight out there, talking about the game. But yeah, E3 I think is probably the right date.
Yeah, if they're showing some gameplay at E3, then yeah, it's probably very likely.
Probably gonna happen.
And they're confirmed for E3. They're not pulling Sony.
Yeah, well, I mean, and Sony's whole thing is just that they might be doing a Nintendo, really. Nintendo is not there necessarily at E3 proper. They do their little Nintendo Direct and have a booth on the floor.
Yeah, they're hanging out in the treehouse. Yeah,
they're hanging out at the treehouse.
Yeah.
Sony's just talking about not having a press conference there through E3. They might just do, what Nintendo does or what Microsoft does, and just kind of has their own little, we're off on the corner of, Hollywood and Vine. We got our place over here. But they're still at E3. They haven't really confirmed what they're going to be doing this year. So it's possible they still have a conference, just not on site at the convention center. So we'll see what that entails. Speaking of Nintendo, moving on to some Switch games. Tony, this might interest you, and I know Ryan likes his Final Fantasy games. The Final Fantasy X and X-2 remaster, Final Fantasy 12, both headed to the Nintendo Switch and the Xbox One in April. X and X-2 was going to arrive on April 16th. And then 2 weeks later, Final Fantasy 12, the Zodiac Age, is going to be released on April 30th. Either of you guys thinking about picking either of those remasters up for the Switch? I know you guys already have both played them on other platforms.
I already have.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I have 3 copies of each of those games already.
Fucking Christ.
Yeah, so I don't need a fourth or a fifth.
No,
I have both
think
the PS2 and PS3 and PS4.
I feel like that's probably one of the weaker Final Fantasies personally. So, no, not my shindig. I played the HD remaster on PS4 all the way almost to the end boss, and that was a grind.
It's a lot. I've got 12 sitting upstairs. I've yet to play it. 10 and 10-2. I also played maybe an hour or two of. I played it originally. They're just nice games to have around. I don't know that I need them on the Switch, but they're nice games to have, and it's kind of fun. They're coming to Xbox and to the Switch. So
Square's pretty good about releasing their stuff on mobile platforms too, and that would be like maybe where I pick it up. Is I played Final Fantasy VI mobile. I played like Chrono Trigger mobile.
I just don't think
I bought.
They are fucking price gougers with their mobile games, though. Aren't they always like $20 or $25?
Yeah, you got to get them on sale. I loaded up on some Square games when they were like 50% off last year sometime.
Right on.
Yeah, they do the same thing on PS4, like those Final Fantasy 7, 9, and those Star Ocean games that they've been putting out on PS4, just digitally. They've been way too expensive.
Yeah.
So
Well, they're not on PS Classic, so
Yeah.
what are you
What
gonna
else?
do?
Let's move on to some sales numbers. I know how much you guys love numbers. PlayStation 4 sales exceed 91.6 million units sold worldwide. That is of December 31st of last year, now that it is, in fact, 2019. That's globally. They saw 5.6 million PlayStation 4 units sold through the holiday season, which is a new system milestone. As for the games, more than 50.7 million PS4 games were sold during the holiday season, bringing the worldwide total of PlayStation 4 software sales to 876 million units sold,
just
physical copies, since November 15th of 2013. Spider-Man gets a big chunk of that, as it's still PlayStation's fastest selling exclusive at the time of all time. It has now hit over 9 million units globally as of November 25th of last year.
That's a lot. I'm at least 3 of those.
Did you buy that game 3 times?
No, not Spider-Man, but
Oh,
of the 800, of the holiday one. But
Yeah.
you know what? They pushed the base PS4 bundles hard for like
Did they?
Black Friday and Christmas. I mean, they were really attractive
$200, right?
deals.
the Spider-Man one, right?
Yep, exactly. Yeah, the 500 gig. And then, they had the PSVR bundles too, with like Astrobot and a couple of the games bundled in. So yeah, they were going for it.
And I almost bid on the PSVR. I was very close to buying a PSVR. I didn't for space constraints, but man, they Sony isn't fucking around. And what's funny about that is you think about, you have yet to see a PlayStation 4 Pro price drop, and I figured you'd see one kind of relatively quick, but that system is yet to drop in price and is still selling extremely well.
I like to see that. The old consoles. I remember when we worked at Best Buy that like the Xbox One originally came out, and that or was it the Xbox 360 and then the Xbox One? They were like the same price for like 3 years each.
Yeah.
So, there's a push for like a new generation console every like 2 or 3 years, and I'm not about shelling out money every 2 or 3 years. So like, hey, let it stay.
I think you'll be disappointed, as this year will probably be the year where you find out there's a new PlayStation, a new Xbox, and a new maybe a revised Switch coming, at least. Ryan, are you still thinking this year or are you thinking next year? I'm saying 2020.
I think they're probably going to announce it this year, and then they'll probably come out next year.
I think it'll be.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
I think everyone will be like, I just bought my PS4 Pro last year, 2018, and I will be probably replacing that in 2 years, which seems quite excessive considering my original PlayStation 4 that I bought the day it came out is still right next to me. It's still working just fine. So,
that's almost 7 years ago.
Yeah, which is crazy, but just the way that it goes. Speaking of Marvel Spider-Man, nice little surprise they talked about over last weekend. They had the Fantastic Four week kickoff on a stream. They announced that a Fantastic Four themed, I think, a suit is going to be coming to Marvel Spider-Man. They didn't say that the actual characters themselves will be coming to the game, but possibly that a Spider-Man suit or two based on the comic series that he had with the Fantastic Four will be coming. So I think it's super cool they keep supporting that game, not only with DLC, but shit like that, where they just give out, hey, here's a couple costumes here, a couple costumes there. I mean, with the install base that it has, it's just nice to see.
The suits, I think, were the best part of the game. So yeah. Good for that.
I really like the suit, even though I stuck with the punk rock suit the majority of that game.
My brother's kid watches me play it, and like every 30 minutes, he'll tell me to pause and change the suit. So
but I'm glad you at least get through 30 minutes before they tell him to pause. Because my kids wouldn't do that.
They want you to change it all the time.
Yeah, they want me to change it all the time.
He doesn't like it when I pick the suit where he's just in his underwear.
That's a good kid then.
Neither do the people there.
That's New York, not a fan of nudity.
Yeah.
What do you guys feel about Dragon's Dogma coming to the Switch in the spring? Does that that move your needle at all?
It does a little bit. That was a game that was always like $10 more than I wanted to pay, but it looked awesome.
Right.
But I never picked it up, never played it. So I'm kind of interested. But I think at this point, I would probably buy it digitally on Xbox One if I saw it cheap.
Yeah, it got the re-release last year for PS4 and Xbox One, coming out for the Switch on the 23rd of this year. What about you, Ryan? Does this move your needle at all?
I have it on PS3 and PS4. I probably wouldn't get it again on Switch, and I want to play it again on PS4, but I never had time.
It's a lot. It's a big game, isn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely gonna take you like 40, 50 hours to get all, because it comes with that expansion, the Dark Arisen.
Yeah, Dark Arisen. Yep.
Yeah.
So it's a lot. It's a lot to take in.
It's got a crazy end game. The story gets pretty nuts towards the end.
It's got a really good Metacritic, so I mean, add it to my backlog of games. Position number like 23.
Yeah. I don't. You want to talk about backlogs? I think Ryan's on position number 87.
Yeah, I got one more spot on my top shelf before I have like a full row of PS4 games that I haven't played.
I don't think any of us care about this game, but it's just as significant as far as it's being pushed. Dead or Alive 6 got pushed from February 15th. It's been pushed to March 1st. Team Ninja has said just another 2 weeks to further enhance and balance the game.
Enhance some ladies' chests.
Yeah, some jigglies.
Boobs.
Yeah.
Boobs. Yep.
Yeah.
Dead or Alive was always a series that if I needed to spank it, that's what I was popping in the PlayStation.
That's Senran Kagura now, I think.
Well, yeah, I don't use video games for that anymore. I've got porn.
That's the kind of game that shows up in like a top 10 list at work when you're watching YouTube and you're like, fuck, click.
That's what's going to get your work laptop taken away from me, is watching playthroughs on Dead or Alive and Senran Kagura games.
That's right, yeah.
Do you guys, I guess, Tony, do you have PlayStation Plus? Ryan, I know you don't. Do you? Did you pick up any of the PlayStation Plus games this month?
No, I mean I download them every month, but very rarely are there good enough games to play. But I did get Celeste.
Oh, sure, on the Xbox.
Yeah, so that'll get played here pretty quick, I think.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that'll be that was a Game of the Year contender for our own Mr. Ralph.
I remember him saying that he died like 500 times on one level. So
yeah, I think it was on the final boss. Yep, he really liked that game a lot. I'm sad that it was only free on Xbox, but free for PlayStation Plus members this month. You had Steep, which was that Ubisoft snowboarding game, and then you had Portal Knights, which I heard good things about.
Yeah, Portal Knights is exciting. Again, a game that looks pretty cool. I like the art style of it a lot. It reminds me of that 3D Dot Heroes. You guys ever play that?
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of that a little bit.
3D Dot Game Heroes. Who was the publisher behind that? Wasn't that Level 5?
From Software.
From Software did it. Yep.
Yeah.
That's right. Yep. Also for the PlayStation 3 folks, Zone of the Enders HD Collection, Amplitude, Fallen Legion, and Super Mutant Alien Assault for your PS Vita. I downloaded Steep and both in Portal Knights, and I'll tell you how much I did not like Steep.
Did you fall down the hill?
I let my character the tumbling graphics in that game are pretty spot on.
So how hard did you smash into that mountain with a wingsuit?
You know what? I didn't smash into the mountain with the wingsuit. I did try to paraglide with that was one of the missions, and I could not figure it out. And I cut the cord when I was way high in the air and just let they just fell all the way down till I fucking.
Does it stop when you hit the ground, or does it let you roll down the hill?
You just keep going.
You just let your corpse go down the hill. Yeah,
it's a good time. That's what I like most about that game. All right, a couple more pieces of news for you guys. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate DLC roster possibly leaked. This is obviously just conjecture at this point, but supposedly you're going to be able to get what I think it's kind of a cool idea. You're getting a person from Dragon Quest X. It's on Lucia, I think is who the name is, right?
Why don't they do 11? Because 11 is going to be coming out on Switch soon.
And I don't know. And then you're also going to get Ryu from Ninja Gaiden. He's going to be apparently one of those. Steve from Minecraft, also one of the rumored guys to be in Smash, and the Doom guy.
Okay.
So I think the Doom guy would be kind of cool.
What's the Doom guy gonna do? Is he gonna like rip Mario's head off?
Just rip and tear everybody apart. I hope that they just give the Doom guy a level and it's just pure fucking metal music playing the entire time.
Yeah.
It's getting ridiculous on Smash, man. That is just a dickload of characters.
Yeah.
Rip Yoshi's tail off and make him eat it or something. Or
shove it down his throat. I'd be into that. Make Wario eat Waluigi. That'd be a good time. I'd be into that. So
is he gonna use a gun? Because I can't remember if Solid Snake uses a gun in Smash.
I don't know if he does either. Tony, do you know?
But he used a bazooka to stop Snake, but I don't know.
No idea.
It's been so long since I played a Smash Brothers game. I don't know.
Well, how do you settle stuff then?
I settle it with my penis usually.
Okay, that's a different kind of Smash. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm smashing in a different kind of way.
Yeah.
Keep it with some more Nintendo vibes for you. Yoshi's Crafted World and Kirby's Extra Epic Yarn both got release dates. Those are games coming to the Nintendo Switch and the Nintendo 3DS, respectively. Yoshi's Crafted World coming to the Switch on March 29th, 2019, which I am very excited about. I like those Yoshi games a whole lot. And Kirby's Extra Epic Yarn, which is the enhanced version of Kirby's Epic Yarn from the Wii, coming out March 8th, 2019. So I don't know, maybe your 3DS adventure is not quite over there, Ryan.
I think it is until Persona Q2 comes out. So
it might happen. I'm being told that no gun for Solid Snake. He does not use a gun. I've been fixed. I've been factured. I've been texted, told that he does not use a gun from our good friend Andrew Morgan, friend of the show.
Okay, no gun. So what would Doom Guy use then?
Doom Guy, I don't know what Doom Guy is.
Yeah.
I assume he's just gonna he's just gonna Sparta kick everybody off of the levels. Is gonna be.
Yeah, he's just gonna hit you, and you're gonna bleed out blue pills.
Right. That's probably what it's gonna be. So.
Yeah, well, Dr. Mario would do that anyway, but
yeah, Dr. Mario is just full of prescription drugs. It's all he throws at you. Get you hooked on.
And we have an opiate epidemic, and you wonder why.
Quaaludes and Xanax and all that business coming at you. What about this, Ryan? I know you're going to be excited about this. Resident Evil 2 getting a one-shot demo for Xbox, PS4, and Steam.
Well, you're wrong. I'm not playing any of that until it comes out.
You just want to play the game.
Yeah,
it's gonna be shit my pants, dude.
Gonna be available for download January 11th through January 31st. It's just a 30-minute play the game demo, similar to what you would catch at like an E3 event. I'm gonna check it out because I don't have any desire to play this game, but I'll always check out a free demo. Tony, what about you?
Yeah, hard pass. So like I remember when PT came out.
Oh yeah,
and that was all the rage.
Yeah,
that made me shit my pants. I bought Resident Evil Biohazard last year.
It's a great game.
Played about the first 3 minutes. I was like, no, fuck this. Not okay. Not doing it.
You could have done it in VR.
Yeah.
Oh my god, no way, dude. No
VR probably would have literally made you shit your pants. That game's great.
Think so.
That game is great. Biohazard is great.
Sure. And in the brightly lit room with my pals.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're like, listen, I'm not one to say that I play scary games in the dark. I'm not an idiot. You know, if I'm playing a scary game, it's usually because it's fucking 9 o'clock in the morning and nothing's gonna get me. If I don't turn on PT at 11 o'clock at night by myself because that sounds.
Yeah, we're at the place with video games though where like they look too real. It's like I'm walking through this hallway and I'm like, hold on, that looks like my door. No, fuck it.
I'm out. I'm not doing it. Yeah, Resident Evil 2. Ryan, you're just trying to stay pure until the game actually comes out.
Yeah, well, I've already watched too much. I probably should have watched fewer videos on it, but
you're very excited. I would call that probably one of your most anticipated games of this year, huh?
I would be very surprised if that wasn't my game of the year.
Wow. Call it a shot now. Game of the year next year.
Like I don't know what's planned for the fall. I'm assuming Last of Us is supposed to come out this year, right?
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know what else, but I can't get stuff right now.
Anthem isn't going to do it for you.
Hearts
3 isn't going to do it for you.
No,
Anthem's going to suck.
Anthem's going to be fine. Anthem's gonna be fine.
Nope.
All right, last piece of news I have for you that came out today, January 10th, 2019. Bungie and Activision going separate ways, splitting
I
up.
saw that.
Bungie retains the rights to Destiny, and Activision just going on their way. They entered an agreement back in 2010 to publish the game through the Destiny franchise, and Bungie made the announcement today. The official statement says, with Activision, we created something special. To date, Destiny has delivered a combination of over 50 million games and expansions to players all around the world. Following this 8-year run, Activision transferred publishing rights over to Destiny. Of Destiny to Bungie, allowing the developer to fully control and publish its own games. So they're excited, obviously, to take Destiny and do something special with it. I think that's good for Bungie. And what I want to talk about it specifically is, do you think that Activision maybe hindered what Bungie wanted to do with Destiny just based on wanting to hit certain analytics and certain sales numbers and things of that nature? Do you think having Bungie able to self-publish, does that open up a whole new world of Destiny or options for Destiny, say a Destiny 3?
I don't know. Wasn't it the big story like Bungie screwed it up in the first one? Like however they set it up to like set up their the way they could make levels and craft their story. It was done in such a inefficient way that it made it difficult for them to do it. So I thought that was the whole narrative around the first one.
Yeah, these games have taken remarkably similar paths. Destiny 1 and 2, where like comes out, it's kind of buggy, but people just love it, love the gameplay, love the shooter. And then like coming into year 2, it's a really bad lull, and then year 3 picks it back up. So yeah, the first game Bungie kind of tanked into the ground, bad writing, bad narrative, bad story. But then, they created a sandbox team, and the Taken King came out, and that started to really pick back up. But I think it's a good thing. Activision was pushing. I mean, they were almost wholly responsible for like the loot box portion of it. The game director, Luke Smith, threw them under the bus more than once. So I think it'll be all right.
You think Microsoft or EA will buy them?
I could see Microsoft going for it, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think Sony has a better relationship with Bungie at this point than Microsoft does. I don't think
Ubisoft.
I don't think that wound is healed yet for Microsoft.
Phil Spencer could buy them, and I think they'd still give exclusives over to Sony.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't think Yves Guillemot is going to be heading up any Destiny pressers anytime soon. It's not going to be a thing, but I don't know. It's kind of exciting for Bungie. I assume that they're pumped to be able to have the creative control to do whatever they want with Destiny and moving forward to be able to do big things. So
a lot of the internal reports are like with the recent stuff that came out, the most recent expansion and the Gauntlet and a lot of the things that are going good for Destiny 2 were all based on the Bungie sandbox team. So, if that goes anywhere to show you Activision over the first year and then Bungie really taking it back in the second year, I think it's a good thing.
When do we get Destiny 3? Is that a launch title for the next generation consoles? 2020?
Yeah, could be. I'm not sure.
I think there are bigger names. I mean,
three years between the Destinies, 2014, 2017.
Yeah, Bungie or Destiny is like cross-platform though. I don't know if it's gonna be a launch title. Like an Xbox launch title might be like Halo or Gears of War. And you have so many Sony exclusives. So I don't know about launch title.
All right. That's everything I've got for you when it comes to the news. Why don't we move on to what we have been playing? And why don't we start off with you, Ryan? Tell me what you have been playing over this lovely Christmas break.
I wrapped up Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I've seen all the Dick statues. Seen them all.
How many are there?
Actually, I don't know. I actually read an article that was trying to point them all out, and I'm pretty sure that article did not point them all out.
That is God's work right there. Somebody's getting paid to point out Dick statues.
Yeah.
Not only is somebody getting paid to point them out, but more than one somebody got paid to actually create them.
That's fair, yeah.
Hey,
The
dude, what do you
girth-
think? Does it dig look good enough? You think?
Yeah, this girth looks a little fucked up. Can you fix it? Proportions here are just wrong. Just wrong.
That'd be a bad place for the game to glitch. Is like, oh, well, it's over rendering this dick.
But no, it was a pretty good game. The ending was very abrupt. Like there were actually no credits. I don't remember, or I'm pretty sure Origins had credits, but this game just kind of ended, and I wasn't really sure if it was actually over or not because I'm normally used to those Assassin's Creed games having like 15, 20-minute long credits. Nothing this time, no credits.
Is there
It was
like
just
a good or bad ending that you could get that could cause that, or is that just how the game is
I'm not sure. They make it. I'm actually not sure if there are multiple endings or not, but they try to make it seem like there potentially could be.
Okay.
I don't even know if what I got was a good ending, but it's supposed to be. The game is more focused on your family, I guess. I played as the girl. Her name is Cassandra. It's mostly about that. It's mostly about her trying to find her real father, and her trying to find her brother, who I guess they get separated. He actually gets thrown off a cliff. What if you play as the guy? I think his name is Alexios or something. Cassandra gets thrown off Cassandra gets thrown off the cliff. And your mom most of the game you're trying to find your mom. So it's kind of weird. It's more of a family based kind of story, which isn't really typical Assassin's Creed, but the game still looks pretty amazing. It's still a lot of fun to play. I don't know where they go after this though. I don't know if they're going to continue with the same style.
This is a prequel to Origins,
Yeah.
right?
It was.
Yeah.
I guess it was developed in parallel with Origins, though, so that's why it's so similar.
Sure.
And I'm not sure if they're gonna, because I'm guessing they're taking another year off, and then who knows what they're gonna come up with after that.
I mean, what do you think how far future could they go with the Assassin's Creed?
Future or past?
No, I'm thinking future. Like, I want to see them go the opposite direction. Like, how far?
Days of Future Past? Or,
That would be fine. Like, how far do you think they could get away with like going? Could they go like cyberpunk style, like super far into the future, or do you think they stop at a certain point?
I think once you get functional guns that aren't like American Revolution style guns or stuff like that.
Kind of guns.
Yeah, it gets a little weird to have an assassin running around when you got stuff like that.
AK-47s going off.
Yeah, so I feel like they probably have tried it. I thought there were rumors of them doing like a World War II one. Maybe they could get away with that, or like maybe a World War One.
What about a post-apocalyptic, no gun era Assassin's Creed game?
They might have to do that at some point.
I mean, that's Horizon Zero Dawn. So,
well, yeah. I mean, mobility-wise, I could see that.
But yeah, I'm sure that's like their number one franchise, so they're gonna do whatever they can to keep that going. So sure. I'm sure they're not really out of ideas.
It's probably about time that they start remastering it and milk it that way too.
That's already been happening. I think Assassin's Creed 3 remaster comes out later this year, like in March.
Yeah, okay, there you go.
So,
I've still never played a single Assassin's Creed game. So
I said they're not. I would say they are all good and quality games. Even Unity. Unity not when it launched, but after it launched, a few months.
What is your least favorite? Is it 3?
No.
Of the core ones.
Yeah.
Probably 2.
Oh, that's the one that started it all. Good. Yeah. For me, it's Freedom Cry, and that's like not really the main. It's like an expansion of Black Flag. I thought Freedom Cry was terrible, but the I don't know. I guess you could say Liberation was also a spinoff, or I thought that one was awful too.
Like I'm talking like 1, 2, 3, 4, Odyssey and Origins.
Unity was like real bad out of the box. It turned into a pretty good game. I forget the order that they go, but like there's one where you're a Native American, and that one was like super badass.
That's 3, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't think there's really a bad one, but probably
I would just say 1. The first one is probably at the time. The first one was. I thought the first one was good when I first played it, but it's the hardest to go back to.
But the one that's super duper repetitive, and then they had to change the gameplay mechanics to the second one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, pretty much.
You just go to a town, you get on a tower, you kill a Templar, and that, I mean that was it.
There's a shitload of flags to collect. So if
Yeah.
you want to get some flags.
Is there a black flag in that one? Was that the whole? Was that the hint the whole time?
No, they were saving that.
Oh,
They'd chamber that one for later.
never know.
Yeah.
What else do you play there, Ryan?
I finished. Let's see. I'll just go in order. I finished Call of Cthulhu. That was on sale for like $30, so I bought that. That game is. I think it's. I like it is. Do you guys know anything about the game at all?
I don't think so.
It's like it's kind of like a more involved walking simulator style game where you're doing investigations and I've never read the actual book it's based off of or the stories it's based off. I think it's loosely associated with that, but you're pretty much called to some it's based off of the H.P. Lovecraft stories, but you're called to go investigate something in some island off of like it's kind of near Boston, Massachusetts. It's kind of like some remote island where there's very few people that live there, and some very weird and questionable stuff is going on. It's like a whaling community, and apparently they haven't been doing or haven't been very successful in their whaling ever since. I think it was like 80 years ago they found some giant whale, and I guess they've been kind of living off of that. And it turned out it was not really a whale, and they were eating it, and it was causing a bunch of crazy stuff to happen. So yeah, you go in and investigating that, and you're just finding weirder and weirder stuff. It's very low budget, so which they charge $60 for this game, but they should have never charged $60 for it. So I'm glad I waited till it dropped in price, because the quality is definitely a mixed bag, but it's still pretty interesting. The endings of the game, there's like 4 or 5 of them. The best one is when you summon Cthulhu. They did a real good job with that.
I mean, if the game is based on Cthulhu, I would appreciate if they put the most budget into Cthulhu.
It's pretty good. If you get that ending, like that's probably the worst ending, because Cthulhu is not somebody you really want to summon, but and that game
looks awesome.
It looks bad.
I have to YouTube that just alone so I can see what it is.
Yeah, it's not a long game either. Like I think I finished it 3 times within a couple days. So the first playthrough is obviously the longest, and then after that, it's pretty quick.
Right. So, once you know it's a bypass.
Yeah, it does some really weird stuff too. Like they try to mix in like RPG mechanics, which pretty much every game does nowadays. But it's usually you can min max that kind of stuff and eventually max out your character. But they do it in such a way that you pretty much can't max out your character. You really have to like focus on picking one certain style when you're doing your investigations. So I'm assuming they mean for you to go back and try to pick other styles where you do it. But the first playthrough, it seems like it's important, but then as you play it again, you realize it's not really that big of a deal. But it was just kind of interesting.
Right on.
But,
yeah, I've never heard of that game. Or at least I've not paid enough attention to it. Tony, have you heard of the Call of Cthulhu game?
Not at all, no.
It's not as good as the one that came out on Xbox that was called Dark Corners of the Earth, but it's not bad.
Cool. What about Layers of Fear?
I did not like that game. That is a pure walking simulator.
I watched Vinny and Abby, I think, play that last year or this year on their Halloween thing, and that game just seemed real dumb. There's some good jump scares, but it did not look like a fun game to play.
No, it doesn't. So jump scares in that type of game don't really work, because there's never any. You technically can die in that game, but it's so rare and random, and you know it's coming because they tell you like as you're playing the game. I think there's like your wife or somebody that they tell you not to look at. They tell you to ignore her, and if you don't ignore her and you actually go towards her, she's gonna kill you.
Sounds like my life, yeah.
But other than that, you're never in danger. So you're just walking until the game ends, and any stuff that they try to do to scare you is not really scary because you know nothing bad is going to happen to you unless you walk towards your wife.
What a metaphor for life. Don't walk towards your wife. She's gonna fucking.
I think it's his wife. I'm pretty sure it is, but I don't know. I wasn't paying too much attention to the story, but it's just not a very effective, scary game.
That's the one that's like there's like paintings everywhere and shit like that, right?
Yeah, you're trying to paint. So there's like multiple different endings you can get. So it's you have a wife and a child, and they try to scare you with your kid too. But I don't think your kid can kill you. I think it's mostly just when you walk into your wife or whatever. And you can paint yourself at the end of the game. That's one ending, and it's supposed to mean something by the choices you made. And then you could paint just your wife. You could paint. I don't know if you can paint just your kid, but then there's one where you can paint your whole family. And it's supposed to. I think it's difficult to do some of those in one playthrough, so I think you have to play it multiple times. But after the first time when I was done, I painted my wife. That was it. And I did the little expansion thing too, which was kind of weird. You play as the daughter that goes back to the house years later, and it's quite a bit different than the base game. So I don't know. I didn't really. It was worth checking it out since I bought it from Limited Run, but I would say it's not a very good game.
Not a great game.
No.
What I thought was a pretty great game was another walking simulator you played, Tacoma. Tell me about Tacoma.
About that, yeah.
That's a good game.
Well, maybe.
No, you didn't like Tacoma either?
I have a lot of trouble with these style of games where they expect you to just kind of walk around and.
Well, hold on, because let me stop you because would you categorize yourself as a story game player?
I would, but not like so there's certain stories that I like, and I do like I like it when they mix it together with the gameplay, but walking around and looking at people's stuff
doesn't interest you.
It doesn't feel like gameplay. It feels like I'm just rifling through people's shit.
So you didn't like the rewind mechanic and shit? You didn't think that was fun? Like the rebuilding of memories?
No, and like they made the puzzles really stupid simple.
Yeah, they're really easy.
So like I didn't even have
hard.
to.
I like it.
I didn't like it because like the puzzles were so simple. I thought I was gonna have to read through all this stuff.
Give me the setup of give the setup of the game real quick.
Oh God! Without me paying that much attention to the story, you're basically going to investigate some chip that it sounds like some company was screwing them over and basically leaving them to die for like hanging for some reason.
Yeah, they sent out a distress signal because some shit went down, and.
But it sounds like it went down on purpose, though. It sounded like this company screwed them over.
Yeah, spoilers. It was all set up that way to happen. But the setup of the game is you're there to collect all the memories and try to collect the ship's AI. So as you're going through, you're trying to rebuild all these memories and find out where the ship AI is. And through the journey, you find out that the distress signal wasn't actually getting sent out because you're just a patsy for this dude to try to kill a bunch of people and then get people to reelect him for some stupid reason because politics. Yeah.
So I don't know. It's not. It's a very short game. I bought it for really cheap because it was on sale during the. I bought it on Xbox. It was on sale during whatever their sale was.
The digital sale.
Yeah, and it's definitely worth checking out, and it looks fine. It's interesting, but
now, is that. What other game do they make?
Is Gone Home.
That's Gone Home. Okay.
Yeah.
Tony, have you played Gone Home or Tacoma yet?
I looked at the before you buy on Tacoma. Thought it was kind of interesting looking. Have not played.
Pulled the trigger yet?
It is interesting. It's very light on gameplay. Did you find that girl's vibrator, Derek?
What?
Oh, there's.
I platinumed that thing. I didn't see a fucking vibrator.
Oh yeah, I went to pick it up, and she's like, I better not touch that."
Yep.
So
that's pretty great. No,
Can you guess which character it was?
Was it one of the lesbians?
Yeah.
I figured it was.
She's the one with the messy room. I was going through her messy room and rifling through all the stuff.
The skinny one, not the fat one.
No, I think the larger one is the messy room.
Is it the fat one that's the room? I don't remember.
But
I like Tacoma. I thought the art style was kind of cool.
It does. It looks pretty good. It's just those games are pretty hit and miss with me. Like I really hated Everyone's Gone to the Rapture, but I liked The Vanishing of Ethan Carter. So I don't know. I'm not. And then I hated what was that other one? Dear Esther. Our Dear Esther.
I did not play. I did not play Dear Esther. Everyone's Gone to the Rapture. Thankfully, I didn't pay for that game. Was okay, but not great.
Yeah, Edith Finch was good.
Edith Finch was really good. Vanishing Ethan Carter was really good. Gone Home was really good. Tacoma is just good. Just a good one of those.
I think Gone Home. So like it felt really fragmented what I was doing in Tacoma, but Gone Home felt more of a progression of me going through the house to get to the thing they wanted me to see.
Yes.
It also involved lesbians. So
yes. Nice. I don't disagree.
Yeah.
Me like.
I did not find a vibrator and Gone Home that
oh man, you didn't go to the right home then.
Yeah, no, yeah, that was the wrong house.
Yeah,
that's why key didn't. Find out that's why your key didn't work. Yeah,
you're supposed to stick your dick in there as the wrong thing.
Yeah, you play as a girl and Gone Home, but yeah,
oh yeah, that's right. Pregnant girl, yeah,
yeah.
Sorry,
but
all right, yeah, Tacoma is good. Before we get to this last piece here, why don't you tell me about Get Even?
We don't really have to talk about Get Even. Like,
what is Get Even?
I bought that really cheap too I think I bought it on PS4 on sale, and it's supposed to be kind of like a horror game. Also not
you do love your horror games.
Yeah, it seems like you're like it's definitely not what I thought it was. You're playing as like some guy who seems like he's supposed to be some kind of like not like on the level of James Bond, but some type of special agent where you're doing some secret stuff, but definitely not as extravagant as James Bond.
Is it like Ace Ventura, Secret Agent Man? Is that how
is that a thing? Is that a real thing? That was Pet Detective.
It is, but and when he goes to the nature, he becomes the secret.
I did not get shit out of a rhino. That did not happen in this game.
That would have been the best game of all time.
But you like go try to save this girl, and while you go to save the girl, it seems like a bomb explodes in your face, which means you're probably dead, but you wake up in some weird kind of abandoned building, and it seems like you're in some like asylum or something like that, or some type of prison, and they're trying to rehabilitate you or something, and you're doing a bunch of weird stuff that basically just seems like your character's probably dead or something like that. It's some type of Jacob's Ladder type thing. I don't know if I'll ever finish it, but it wasn't that great. You get this weird gun that you can shoot around corners with that you get to use in rare occasions, but it wasn't what I thought it was. I don't know if I'll finish it. I think it's probably pretty short too, but it's one of those smaller game made by, I think they like a Polish or something. They're somewhere in Europe, some European developer. But
and last but not least on your list, it is one of the greatest games of all time.
It is a game, yeah.
It came out 13 years ago. A game that I've been waiting for a sequel since I was graduating high school. You finished Kingdom Hearts 2.
Oh, fuck this.
Welcome to the Kingdom Hearts Hour. Thank you.
Oh, my God.
So I hadn't played that game in months because I got to a boss fight, where it just seemed like it was impossible to beat.
Who was it?
I don't even know, because I don't know any of these people. Unless it's like Donald or Goofy or Mickey or something like that. I don't know any of the organization. I know Axel. I think that's one.
Axel's a red-haired dude, yep, with the spinning on things.
And then they were calling what's that guy's name? Roxas. I started playing the other one after that, Birth by Sleep, and they're calling him Vaughn or something in that one.
No. Van is a different character.
He looks exactly like Roxas.
He's a different character.
He dresses exactly like Roxas. Like what kind of a coincidence is that?
It's Ven, by the way.
Ven, yeah.
Terra Ventus.
I thought it was Vince Vaughn or something. No. So why? I'm sure they're going to explain it to me in Birth by Sleep, but I'm still not sure why he looks like Roxas.
Yeah, I don't know. Don't ask me. I'm not the guy that does this. I'm just the guy that really likes these games. I don't know why they do the things they do.
I don't remember anything that happened in the first one, so I don't know how to like. I was trying to play these games to get ready for 3, and then I realized
Yeah.
I don't know anything that happened in the first one, even though I
I
played
mean,
it.
here's Kingdom Hearts 1. Your kid's on an island. You all get taken off the
Yeah.
island without parents knowing or anything or whatever the fuck.
There are no parents in this world.
You wind up as Sora. You wind up in this Traverse Town place, and you run around with Donald and Goofy, who are trying to find the king, Mickey.
Mhm.
And then you battle some dudes. You
Yeah.
keep battling some dudes. Then you get your heart stolen.
Yeah.
And you become you become a little black dude.
Oh,
We
I
can't
thought
say
you-
we can't say the real word here, but that you become a little black man.
You become a Roxas.
And then you because then you get turned back into a Sora, and then when you find out in the second game that newsflash, Roxas is Sora with an X in the name.
Yeah.
And so the other organization
Shit's getting
members,
deep right now.
Yeah.
the other organization members are all other characters. They're just shadows of themselves with X's in their name.
Well, so there's that Kyrie girl, and what's the other one's name that is wearing the white dress?
Not Yuffie. That's not what I was
It's like
gonna say.
Nominee or
Nominee. Nominee and Kyrie are not the same thing.
Yeah, it's like, well, they made it seem like they were in Kingdom Hearts too.
They sure did. Yeah, Nominee is the journal lady.
I'm
like
not going to get this time of life back.
Yeah, you're never gonna get it. Hey, welcome to the show. I haven't gotten 180 episodes of my life back, so you can just go ahead and fuck off.
So,
But yeah, Nominee is technically the nobody of that's
Yeah.
what they're called. Is the nobody of Kyrie, but
Yeah.
it's not. It's not. She is the exception of the X factor, literally.
Yeah. I feel like if I would have played none of these games, I'd be just as prepared for Kingdom Hearts 3.
You would be yes, you would be
Yeah.
equally as prepared as I am
You'd
for
probably be
Kingdom Hearts
less
3.
confused.
Yeah, you probably would be less confused, to be honest. Like
Yeah.
once you get to Birth by Sleeping, there's that old dude, and it's all in the past. It gets really weird.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like it was in the past. I'm assuming that's why that dude's name is not Roxas, even
Yeah,
though he
'cause
looks
it's-
exactly like Roxas.
Terra Ven. Oh, I mean, really.
Does he have a
Aqua.
heart? Everybody's using a Keyblade in that too. So
Yeah,
I
that's
don't know.
Keyblade. What's the old Keyblade War, man? That's what's about to happen. Is there about to be a
Uh,
second Keyblade War?
Oh man. Um,
Don't you
uh,
don't you love Kingdom Hearts?
yeah. Like, isn't that? I thought that's what kids do when they go to the bathroom together. They do Keyblade War. Is that?
No, it's sword fight. It's two different things.
Oh. It's not the same thing.
No, not quite the same thing, unfortunately.
Okay.
Yeah, not the same thing. Now, if you had to rate this game, what would you give this on the bus scale?
I have no idea.
I need to know the bus scale.
It's out of 74. I will give it 58 out of 74 buses.
That's not bad. That's okay. I'll take
Yeah.
that. All right. I mean, you play more Kingdom Hearts than Tony did. I let him borrow the collection I had, and he played it for
Yeah.
about 10 minutes and couldn't do it.
You're not wrong.
Yeah. I mostly play those games just to see what they're going to do with the Disney stuff.
And that's the
Yeah.
fun parts, right? Except for when you're like truly being in Ariel's worlds are always the least good time.
Yeah, some of that music didn't even sound right. Like they were having me. The one in Kingdom Hearts 2, you're pretty much just playing music.
It's really bad in Kingdom Hearts
Yeah.
2.
Yeah.
Truly bad.
So,
Like, yeah, that whole like musical scenario when you get there, like there's not a whole lot going on other than that, and it's bad.
yeah.
And that's coming from
Yeah.
a fan.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting with Toy Story and all that other stuff for Kingdom Hearts 3.
Do you think we get Star Wars? I know everyone keeps asking. Do you think we're gonna get any Star
Mm.
Wars?
I don't know.
Fucking Marvel.
What about Marvel stuff? Is that supposed to be in there?
I don't know, man. I don't know. They've been
Ooh,
developing it for 13 years, so I doubt it, but maybe.
Can they use Spider-Man?
I'm holding out hope that Sora just whips out a fucking dual lightsaber like Darth Maul and wrecks everybody.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they do Star Wars. It seems like they've been spoiling the shit out of a lot of stuff. So
Well, yeah, right now it's like Frozen, Big Hero 6, Toy Story, Monsters Inc., and they're in the Tangled World.
yeah,
But I mean, 5 is not. That's a low number for a Kingdom Hearts game.
they got Pirates of the Caribbean in there.
Yeah, the fake Jack Sparrow because
Yeah.
Johnny Depp. Rest in peace, Johnny Depp. His career's over. But anything else? Is that
anything else? Not even Tim Burton's going to get him somehow in something.
No, probably not. I think he's dead.
They were best pals.
Once upon a time.
Yeah, Edward Scissorhand too. Never going to happen.
Yeah.
Re-scissored.
Re-scissored? What kind of game is that?
Edward Scissorhand. But no,
Re-scissored. That sounds like the lesbian porno.
It could be. I don't know. Never. Just Johnny Depp have a child that could act in that movie. That's of age.
Lily, she's of age.
Has she been in anything?
Yeah, she was in that movie with Kevin Smith's daughter, Yoga Posers.
What?
Yeah, there's a movie.
That?
It's a movie on Netflix if you want to watch it. It's called Yoga Posers. I haven't watched it, and I love Kevin Smith stuff, but yeah.
They're going to be doing some yoga. I don't really want to watch it.
I don't think it's actual yoga. I don't think it's real yoga, but
anyway. Okay. Yeah, I got nothing else. Nothing else been going on.
Tony, I don't know whatever you're watching behind you. I see the reflection in your glasses. Why don't you tell me instead of watching that? Why don't you tell me what you have been playing?
Just watching some yoga posers.
You might be watching some porn.
No, I'm not. I mean, it would look good on a 65 OLED, but no.
What is it that you're watching? Fill us in on what you're watching.
Oh, I wasn't watching anything. I was kind of booting up my PlayStation and looking through their
sale.
Whatever sale's going on.
It's nothing good. It's the same sale they've had for 3 weeks, unfortunately.
Yep, exactly. But I've almost exclusively been playing Dragon Quest XI, which I'm like 75 hours into it. I mean, it's going to be up there for a game of the year. I don't think it's going to surpass God of War. I think it goes past Red Dead pretty solidly, but definitely one of the most inventive, kind of like nicest JRPGs I've played in a while. So, been super pumped about that. I know Derek is not really the biggest fan, but
I'm not. I think the art style is really cool, and I've considered getting into it, but I don't have the time for those 75-hour games right now.
Oh, you know what? And that's about my only complaint 75 hours in, is it just keeps fucking going. You know, the art style is great. Akira Toriyama and the designer, that guy.
The one of many.
Yeah. It's the first Dragon Age game I've ever played, so I didn't really know what to expect. Dragon Quest, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm staring right at it, too. It's the first Dragon Quest game I've played, so as I kind of understand it, and I'm getting a little more into it, from what I understand, it's more or less like a reboot of the series kind of deal. But yeah, I mean, it's like never ending, and I haven't even done probably a third of the side quests that you can pick up. But you know, I'm at the point where I'm kind of ready for it to be done, but it takes a massive leap in difficulty. You go through the game. You kind of beat the big bad guy, and the credits roll, and you get to the end, and the game's like, oh, by the fucking way, here's another 20 goddamn hours of shit to do, because that wasn't the real bad guy. So, yeah, it's and then the difficulty level just dramatically spikes.
Yeah, there's I think what I did to get past that quickly was there's a way to farm levels in a quick way, so I just did that. Because I didn't want to wait the 20 hours, but
maybe I need to go Google that, because I'm like at level 60 on all my characters, and you got to go through these trials to kind of get ready to fight the main bad dude, and then it's a slog. I've died more in the last 5 hours of playing than I have in the entire game.
Yeah, there's a trick to beating the last bad guy too that might not be obvious. So. Just be ready to get destroyed.
Oh, great.
But
I've been really enjoying it. You know, if I had to pick the game apart, I think it sucks that you don't have the main character doesn't have a voice. He doesn't talk at all. I fucking hate games that are like that, especially when everything else is voice acted. So that's my main gripe. But the combat system.
You're supposed to use your own voice, Tony. You got to fill it in with your own voice. You are the character.
I don't want to imagine shit. Okay, don't. No, I need a voice. Okay?
They don't even give you text that you can read.
Oh, I know, man. Yeah, it's retarded.
So if you wanted to give it the voice, you can't.
Yes, exactly right. And your guy just okay. I can't get over the fact that your guy just looks like Trunks from Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
That is getting on my nerves after a while. But the
I mean,
combat system is
If it's a Toriyama game, though, you gotta expect that.
oh yeah. I mean, what's nice about it is you can tell that it's Akira Toriyama. Like even if you didn't know that and you knew what Dragon Ball Z was, you would tell right away from some of the enemy designs, specifically the dragons. Really is a throwback to the Dragon Ball series with how they look and how they're animated. But it they kind of have a lot of Easter eggs where like you're going around and you're talking to people in town and it's like this is like exactly a dude out of Dragon Ball. Like there's one point where there's a dude like that is basically Master Roshi, and he's even a creeper on these other girls in the town. So there's some funny stuff like that. The combat though is addicting. Like it's hard. I was playing Octopath Traveler a couple weeks ago when we were going to Sioux City for family stuff, and I had to put it away after this is basically like a dynamic kind of tactic based combat. So basically, you can literally just go into battle and not do a thing. You can set it up so that they just all do their own thing and you just watch. So going back to Octopath, where it's like you have to choose every single thing that you want to do. You have to set up certain combos. I was like, just I'm not gonna dick with it. So
Yeah. You don't even have to use
real
any
good.
character if you don't want to.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
swap them out of your party.
Character.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of it. I mean, I played a little bit of Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze.
Sure, it's a great
Um,
game. I also played a little bit of that. It's a good game.
yeah, good game. I played in Funky Mode, which
I
I
also
think
played in funky mode, so don't feel bad.
okay. Yeah, so it's a little OP.
It's not a little OP. It's way OP.
Yeah, you know what though? I like games like that. I hate difficulty curves on platformers. So like even I remember even playing the Mario game that was on the Wii U and being like, this game sucks. It's too fucking hard.
The 3D
Um,
land, the 3D
yes,
world,
exactly.
3D
Yeah,
world.
so I like it for the experience and the colorful graphics and some of the puzzle aspects. So I think Funky Mode's going to be fine because I think if I went through as like regular Donkey Kong, I might
I mean,
break
that
my
game is,
Switch.
and that game is hard as fuck too. Like that game is
Yeah,
very hard. Like I remember
yep.
playing on the Wii, it was difficult as shit. So, funky mode has been my good buddy so far.
Well, you're going to be Nabbit in the Mario game that's coming out this month. Then,
Well, good thing I'm not gonna buy it because fuck that game.
really, you don't want to buy that?
That's a remake though, right?
It's a
Or like kinda,
it's just it's a remaster of
it's another port basically.
it's a port.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
that's all
sucks.
it
But
is.
they added, I think, isn't that Toadette Princess stuff all new? The thing that triggered the Bowsette.
Yeah, but I don't give a fuck about that either.
You don't care?
Nope, I don't. I'll just play my SNES or Super Mario Party. I don't need new Super Mario. If that game drops to somehow like $30, I would buy it, but
Yeah.
I'm not buying that
Well,
at
I
launch.
just don't like that they charge. So they did the same thing with Donkey Kong, where they just right off the bat they're
$60.
charging you 60. Yeah, I wish
Yeah.
they'd at least start
Yeah.
at like 40 or something.
Yeah, but
But-
people are
And
gonna
it
buy.
takes
I mean,
forever to drop. So
I got Donkey Kong at 40, plus I had that trade in, so I think I ended up getting it for like 30, which is a good steal.
played a little of the Messenger. I'm kind of that game
I love it.
is
It's so good.
oh man, it's
It's
such
so
a love
good.
hate, dude.
It's so
I know
good.
I know that you were riding its dick this year, so
Oh
you know
man, I
you
love
got
it.
me into it. Yeah, I'm at the point where you kind of get past the midpoint. I don't know if we spoil things on this podcast
Yeah,
or
you
not,
can
but
spoil it. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah,
Just don't
so
talk about Sean.
Yeah, he gone.
I'm at the point where you can, you switch between 16 and 8-bit, but yeah. So I mean, I haven't got like all the way where you have all the skills and stuff, but it's a fun game to pick up and be like, okay, I'm just gonna beat like one level tonight and
Sure.
see. But the problem that I'm having with it is where it was once very linear, now it's extremely open, and you really have to adventure to and really pick up on clues to figure out how to progress the game.
You got to go some places.
Um,
Like you got to go opposite ends of the map sometimes.
Yeah, it's a little annoying, just because you go through this map and you're familiar with okay, these are the combos I got to do here, and I know where these enemies are at, but it's like you still got to do it, and you go just a little bit too fast, and then it just fucks you.
Yep.
So, um, real fun game. I'm having a good time with it. It's just not a game that I can sit down and play for hours at a time.
Sure.
So,
Right on.
you know, what I'm looking forward to, though, I'm hoping I can wrap up Dragon Quest this weekend. Because I'm kind of ready for it to be done. I just want to beat the final boss
Kingdom
to
Hearts
see.
3? You ready for Kingdom Hearts 3?
Nope. I'm actually on the recommendation of a friend of the podcast, Chris Dugan. I have started to do some research on this game franchise and decided that despite my massive backlog of games, I'm just going to say fuck it to those, and I'm going to start the Yakuza series.
Hey, you know what?
So-
Is Dugan telling you about Yakuza?
He told me he likes it quite a bit.
You know what's really funny is as Tony Welchel, I have also been playing a fuck ton of a Yakuza game this week.
Oh, whoa. Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So you can spoil it all.
Yep, spoil. Kiryu is fucking great. I don't know. You know, I don't have Yakuza 0, so I don't know. 0 is actually the one that like that's the prequel, right? That wasn't anything. That's a new game, right?
Yeah, it didn't
Yeah.
come out first, but yeah, it's supposed to like story
Chronologically.
wise. Yeah, story wise. Yeah.
So I'm excited for you to start that. I am currently playing Kiwami, which is the free
Okay.
PlayStation Plus game a month ago now, maybe 2 months ago. And I really enjoy that. I'll get to that. But Kiwami 2, I've been like almost pulling the trigger on, but it's like $35 still, and I just can't yet. But
Yeah.
I heard
It's
Kiwami
got
2 is
the-
like the best one.
It's got the host and stuff in it, and that stuff is amazing.
Yeah.
So does
I'm,
0.
I'm really
Yeah.
I spend a lot of time at Best Buy just basically doing nothing.
yeah, I know you do.
So, yeah, I what I like to do is go on their system that they have all their products cataloged, and they have a price match checker, so you can see what the system will just automatically price check without an override down to. And I saw, Yakuza 0 PlayStation Greatest Hits, normally $20, price match on microcenter.com for $8. So I figured, what the fuck, might as well pick it up.
I'm gonna need to talk to you after the podcast is over.
Well, I mean, that was a while ago, so who knows? But yeah, I don't think that I picked up Yakuza when it was on PlayStation Plus.
So I'll tell
I
you,
don't-
like Ryan didn't think that I would necessarily enjoy Kiwami. He didn't think that it seemed like a game for me, or couldn't tell that it would be a game for me. If you just like walking around and beating people up and doing a bunch of dumb shit, you're gonna love that game because that's all that
There's a
game seems
lot
to
of-
be in.
There's a lot of dumb shit. in there.
It's just super dumb stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm really into how dumb it is. Like we came across, I got to the dog part in Kiwami 1 where you just find this dog and then you got to find a fucking way to feed it and then water it. And it's real stupid, but I really
Yeah.
liked it.
Well, I can't remember which one it was, but one of them I walked up to this girl and found out that she was selling her panties to people. there's a whole quest about you helping her out with what she's doing.
And like,
I'm not even gonna finish Dragon Quest now. I'm going.
yeah,
right to
like at one point, Kiryu, like I'm just walking and Kiryu pops up as a cop and freaks out thinking I have a gun, and then gets mad when I didn't have a gun because it meant I would not fight him. And I was like, what is happening in this game?
Yeah. I remember that. That was new. That wasn't even in the original. They added all that Majima stuff for the.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I keep
the
saying
remake.
Kiryu. I meant Majima. Yeah, the Majima stuff is great.
Or it's either Majima or Majima. I don't know how you say
Yeah,
it.
Majima.
Somebody. Well, they probably say it a million times in that game.
Yeah. It's it is a great time. Hang on, let's say goodnight to the children, I believe, before hello.
Toodles.
Have they been playing Yakuza?
No, but they have been playing they've been playing a lot of Super Mario Party on their own on the Switch Joy-Cons, which is good. And how many
Yeah.
times have you won how many times did you win last night? You remember? How many times did you beat Jolene? You beat her 3 times. So the Super Mario Party, like there's like this rhythm style game where you play 3 different mini games inside of this rhythm setup, and either your character or the versus character. It's a 4-player game, and so the girls will play that. You've got like you have to wipe the windows, but you have to do it on rhythm. You have to race the horses. You have to pull the reins down, the Roman reins. You have to pull the sheet out from underneath the glasses. You have to strike a pose. It's just stupid shit like that. But they really like it and they have a good time. But they were playing the last couple nights, and I played it. I hooked up the the SNES Classic upstairs today because I got that wireless controller, the wireless Famicom controller, and we tried to play some Super Mario World, and that was just a little too hard for us still somehow.
Was it
What about
laggy?
what about
No.
Odyssey?
No, yeah,
Can they
no,
handle that?
no, I don't think they could handle Odyssey. I haven't tried yet, but we played some Super Mario Karts. We played some F-Zero. We played some Punch Out.
Talk about games that don't hold up. Okay,
Yeah.
Super Mario Kart.
Super Mario
awful.
Kart's Super Mario Kart's fine. It's not great. It's fine.
Yeah, I struggle at the harder levels now. I remember being really good when I was a kid, but
Yeah. But it's still early. I think maybe I missed the boat on Jolene starting her. It's a little early. She's almost 8. Olivia here is almost 5, so she's right at the right age to kind of understand how games work. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right.
So it's unrelated, but so is Roman Reigns done? Is he never going to wrestle again?
No, I mean he'll beat leukemia. He'll be fine.
You think so?
Yeah, he'll be fine. I would be remiss to say that I could see him somehow showing up at the Royal Rumble this year. I don't know how that fast,
It's
but
pretty rough.
I mean, I get it. I don't know. Wrestling
Someday he's going to piss off wrestling fans again.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to Owen Hart's match this weekend.
All right. So
yeah, he's having it in Kansas City.
Nice.
oh my God.
There's rumors that it's haunted. Was it Kemper Arena? Or?
He's dropping in hot, man.
Jesus fucking Christ. What the fuck? Also, you have no pants on, so what are you doing?
Yeah, it's Kemper Arena, but yeah.
Okay.
All right, I got 2 more games that we can go quick on.
Say good night so that we can get back to the show.
Good night.
Good night.
All right.
Very
Love
good
you.
pronunciation.
Love you. Bye.
Did she ever win in Super Mario Party?
Oh yeah. He wins more often than Olivia does. She's
Yeah.
really good at it. Again, it's all timing based, so it's pretty easy. So all right, Tony, what are the other 2 games? What you got?
This is more what my daughter's playing,
Sure.
but I dipped a little wee bit into Pokemon Let's Go.
How is that?
You know what? It looks for a kid that was probably my main entry into video games at all when I was a kid was original OG Pokemon on the old brick of a Game Boy.
Sure.
That is real fun to see these Pokemon fully animated, full HD, very brilliant, just vibrant colors. It's pretty awesome. And I was not one of the people that realized until post release that was even like a remake. I thought it was kind of a gimmicky like Let's Go add-on or a Pokemon Go add-on type of game.
Sure.
So pleasantly
whole remake
surprised.
of Yellow,
Yeah, super pleasantly surprised. You pretty quickly get over the fact that basically you get into battles in the field and you just throw a Pokeball at a Pokemon.
There are no battles really.
Yeah, which is fine actually, because you know what? That's what really pissed you off about the original games was having to grind out. So I mean, it's pretty easy to go.
Friend of the show,
catch a
Andrew.
Pokemon.
Friend of the show, Andrew Morgan loves himself some Pokemon Let's Go.
It's my daughter's having a great time. She's on like her 3rd or 4th gym leader already, so she's all about that life. I don't really know when you get to like sync up your mobile game and like import your Pokemon, because that's really what I want is to like bring in my souped up Pokemon Go account and just start
your
bending
Pokemon that
folks over.
Your Pokemon Go characters that you for sure caught here in the United States of America. And
Everyone in Iowa
did not cheat somehow and go to different countries.
Look at me, dude. You think I'm walking around catching Pokemon? Get the heck out of here. I'm using third-party apps for sure, buddy. Yeah, I haven't lost any calories playing that game, but
no, I think you've gained some. I don't think you've lost any.
Yeah, I think you're right. Exactly.
I think so too.
But so that's a good game, very fun. The last game that I play a load of, probably more than I played any other game recently. Probably one of the most classic games of all time, and something that never gets old is little solitaire action.
Oh man,
I've been,
yeah.
I've been playing the shit out of solitaire.
We love
When I'm
Solitaire.
shitting.
We
Yeah.
love Solitaire on the Level Up Show podcast.
Oh,
Yeah.
throwback.
Solitaire and
you-
Minecraft. Those are the two greats.
Does it let you pick if it's a, or does it tell you if it's a game that is winnable? Or no?
No, you know what? It doesn't. And
Yeah.
if I get to a point where like I'm clicking through just
Yeah.
to get a whole bunch, just to try to see if I can win, I just start a new game. Yeah.
When you win, do the cards go flying out?
Oh my God, they do. So what's addicting about this is that, it tracks the time and how many turns it took you to win. And that gets addicting because I have a pretty good time and a pretty low number for total count. So you're always trying to best it.
Yeah.
As,
there's
as
one
he
on,
starts a new game right now.
Right now. I'm playing right now.
There's the one on that's just default on Windows nowadays. Will let you decide if you always get winnable games or not.
Oh,
That just feels like
that's
cheating. Yeah, it's just like cheating, knowing that you can win, and it also makes you feel worse when you don't win, when you know you were playing a winnable game. So I just don't turn that option on.
Yeah,
I was always
I
a
had
tr-
somebody
I was always a
tell me-
Tri-Peaks guy. I was a Tri-Peaks kind of guy.
I had somebody at work tell me when I was playing, he was like watching it over my shoulder, and he's like, "Oh, you need to start picking cards from the right. Like so if you have a card and you have two different sets of cards that you can move onto another card, you always got to go with the one that's on the right. So that's your solitaire pro tip.
It's just because there's more cards stacked under the ones on the right.
I really don't know what the logic is, but you know what? I feel like placebo effect. It works for me. So
As he's still playing right now.
I'm checking Snapchat.
Oh, okay. We should do
I gotta
that.
let my bitches know that I'm playing solitaires.
Solitaire is a good game. What else, Tony? Anything else you got?
That's it, my dudes.
All right. Why don't I get into what I've been playing? And I don't think either of you guys have the Google Doc up, so I'll just run down the list. I've played a metric fuck ton of games since we last convened, which was a long, long time ago. I'm gonna start from the bottom up. I also played some Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. We talked about that. I love that game a whole lot. It is difficult as shit, and I love funky mode for it. Thank God for funky mode. I loaded up God of War. I reinstalled God of War and
I'm
played.
so close to it. You know what? If I didn't find Yakuza, I think I would have went back.
Would have went back for God of War. I reinstalled God of War, played about an hour ish of God of War, but did not play any more. I will go back to it, but I wanted to feel how it felt having New Game Plus and still being able to have the spoilers blades with me, and it feels good. Although it definitely took me a minute to kind of get used to playing it again, because it's not, you don't play that game for a while. It's hard to like, oh shit, like, okay, I got to do this. I got to click this, got to hit this button to go back. It's just the combat. The combat takes a little while to kind of get back into it.
Is New Game Plus like a real spike in difficulty, or is it just basically restarting with all your shit?
I'm so early in, I can't tell you whether there's a big enough difficulty spike or not. It does not seem as though, but I could be wrong. So.
If I want to do it where like I still have all my stuff. So if I could do New Game Plus and it's not like terribly hard,
it didn't seem extremely hard. Yeah, it didn't seem extremely hard, and that's what I wanted to do, is just have all my stuff. So, God of War is still great. Not great is a game called Bouncy Bob that was on the Switch for 99 cents, but it was on sale 99% off. It was a penny. Penny.
Oh, you know what? I saw that.
It was.
Yeah,
it's god awful. It's a bad game. Don't buy that.
Not even worth a penny.
Not even worth a penny, to be honest with you. It's not worth a penny.
How bouncy is Bob?
Bob doesn't bounce real well. He's kind of poopy. He's kind of poopy. It's not very good.
Is he actually poop? Is he like a bad Mr. Hanky?
It's not even. No, I don't see any poop. It's just bad looking. It's just not good.
Okay.
Bouncy Bob, not worth a penny.
His hair kind of looks like poop.
It does kind of look like poop. Either of you guys played any have either of you guys played any of the Katamari games before?
Is that the rolling game or whatever?
Yeah.
Katamari Damacy.
Yeah.
I've seen that, but no, I know that there's that new one out, but that just seems entirely stupid.
Katamari Damacy reroll. It was it's a weird demo. Basically, you just roll this character around and collect as much shit as you can to get to a certain level, and then once you hit that level, it's like, great, you did it. All right, buy the whole game now. See you later. Bye. So I'm not really sure if that's the entire game or how that works, but basically that's what I presume it is you just rolling around as a character that can have things stick to it and building it bigger and bigger as it goes, which is very strange to me.
Yeah, that's pretty much what they are. But there's a quote in this trailer for Bouncy Bob that says,
"Oh no,
Green Blob is fantastic. Twinton Quarantino is the guy."
Quentin Tarantino?
No, it says Twinton Quarantino.
Quarantino is my
Green
favorite.
Blob is fantastic.
It's my favorite. It's my favorite knockoff brand.
That's right. Yeah.
There's a quote from Jack Chin too, and Arnold Wiener Schnitzel. I'll be back for this game.
Is that Jack Chenton, like Jack Trenton?
Yeah. Bob is the ultimate champion. Jack Chin. So,
I don't know that Jack Chen.
Yeah, I think he went around the world in like 50 days or something, or was it 80 days? One of those two.
Oh, Jackie Chan, I got you.
Yeah,
I got you. I forgot to show you this. This is the wireless SNES Classic controller I bought for $20 on Amazon.
Is that the 8-bit Duo? I can't tell.
Yeah, 8-bit Do, 8-bit Do.
Okay, yeah.
But definitely worth it. I got the Famicom colored one because I think these controllers look better anyway. They work real good. I don't feel any lag.
2 colors is not good enough for you. You need 4.
I need 4. I need all 4. Yep. I don't need 2 different colors of gray. I need 4 different colors of colors because
I've got the Insignia ones and I like those quite a bit.
Yeah. I just needed a wireless controller and they seem to work real good. So let's see.
Do you still hold it upside down, or
I do still hold it upside down? That will never change.
You can't train your brain.
I can play the controller the right way, but my brain is so ingrained in playing it upside down that it gets mad when I play it the right way.
It's so fucked up, man.
I mean, the regular,
it's so weird.
The regular SNES. I'm sorry, the SNES, the NES, and the Sega all upside down, man, all forever.
I brought you up one time. Now we have to go on this tangent, okay?
All right, let's
so
do it.
I'm in this training class for work, at the Wide Nation.
Uh-huh.
And one of the questions of the day is, what's one of the craziest talents one of your friends have?
Oh, sure.
And so you weren't the first person I talked about, so fuck off. But one of my buddies that also works at Nationwide, he can catch food in his mouth no matter what.
What?
Flawlessly. Yeah, and we put it to the test, like grapes or, like little pieces of cheese or anything little bite-sized.
Did they accidentally hire a dog?
No.
He's half beagle.
I threw a grape at him from probably not even shitting you, probably like 45 or 50 feet across this massive conference room, caught it in his mouth. So anyway, that was talent number 1. But talent number 2 is I told him Derek can play Super Nintendo games with upside down controllers.
That is a pretty great talent. Like, I don't know, I'll never not be able to do it, and I can still do it effectively too. It's not like I fumble my way through it. I feel more confident in my game playing ability when I'm playing it upside down.
I don't know how you have the mental capacity to do that.
I don't get it. I'm not really sure why no one corrected me when I was a child. They were just like, I don't know, man, drugs, and then just let the kid play the Super Nintendo while we do the drugs.
What I'm wondering is, how did you never notice that the Nintendo logo was upside down?
He turned the TV upside down, and that's how he played.
It was more than look. So hold on, look. The microphone cord goes down, right?
Yeah, sure.
If I hold it this way, it goes up.
Okay.
So if I hold the controller the right way, it goes up and out. I thought it was supposed to go down, so I held the controller this way because it just went straight down.
The Dreamcast controller must have been your favorite.
Yeah, it was a real good controller too. Oh fuck! But all right, let's move on. I also played some Thumper, which is a fucking great game. If it's still on sale, I recommend both of you go buy Thumper.
Never heard of
Is
it.
it a rabbit?
No, unfortunately, it's not a rabbit. You look like a little bug, but it is it's a rhythm game. It is a pretty great rhythm game that you can play in or without VR. Without VR is just fine. Basically, you learn to do certain controller stigmatisms of either you press X or you press left. Go left, go right. You can press up and X, down and X, and it's just a very well done rhythm game that I want to say I paid like $5 for, $6 for on PlayStation, and is very worth it. The level design is great. The gameplay itself was super fun, and I'm having a really good time. I think Thumper is stupid fun, real good. So if you like rhythm games like I do, check that shit out.
Is it better than Runner?
I would say it's better than Runner. Yeah, better than Runner 3.
But it doesn't have Mario's voice in it.
No, there's no Mario, unfortunately.
What's a rhythm game? Give me one I would know.
Like Guitar Hero, except for not on a
okay,
guitar.
yeah. That's kind of what I was thinking. But
There's a lot of different kinds.
there are. I haven't played that World End With You game, but it's like that's a rhythm game.
okay.
Yeah, there was one I was watching that's on Switch that'll actually try to teach you Japanese, but it looked really difficult.
I'm hoping Yakuza's like that. I'm hoping coming out of that game, I can join the Trinidad Mafia.
Yeah. You'll be pretty close. I did play, like we talked about, I played some Yakuza Kiwami. I probably played, 8 hours of Yakuza Kiwami. That game is super good. I like that game a whole lot.
Did you finally figure out how to mess some people up with the what?
I did realize, like, okay, I knock them on, like, I'll just beat them up, and then they'll fall on the ground, and then I'll go over and press triangle on them. I'm still not really sure what I'm doing. I did do that a couple times, and it only worked when I was in, like, the blue. It didn't work when I was in the dragon.
I don't know. I can't remember enough about that. But yeah, you have to have the heat thing all the way up.
But the heat thing, it only worked. It only gave me the option to press triangle when I was in the blue stance. Yeah. Like the dragon stance didn't have anything. The quick stance doesn't have anything, and neither did the burly one. It was just the one.
Well, if you pick up a weapon, you should be able to hit triangle and just mess somebody up too when you have that going.
Yeah.
Or when the gauge is all the way up.
I don't like the difficulty spikes at bosses. Yeah. I think that's really bad.
Yeah.
Hold on, are we still talking about Yakuza?
Yeah, Yakuza's got some pretty rough difficulty spikes between like your everyday battles and then to the boss battles. There's some pretty rough difficulty spikes.
Zero is way easier compared.
Oh yeah, I've not played Zero, so I can't tell you for sure. But Kiwami is that way.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that it was a game like that. Where is it kind of like what are some of those other like Japanese hack and slash games like a Reachy or whatever?
Like Final Fight or.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay.
But you're just like you're walking through and just beating shit up.
Yeah, kind of, and people just attack you every once in a while. Some street thugs.
Do you have like a skill gauge and like skills that you learn and like a mana gauge or something like that?
Yes, there are skills that you
level up. Yeah.
Oh,
it looks kind of like the when I see it, the thing, because I played Final Fantasy, it looks like the sphere grid, like you just fill in different spheres.
Oh, so it has an RPG-ish quality.
Yeah, it changes kind of. It's similar, but changes a little bit through each of the games.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know how far did you get in? What chapter are you on?
Chapter 5, I think.
Probably about 4 inches.
Have you shown the dragon?
What do you say?
Have you shown off the dragon tattoo yet?
No, there's not been any girl or guy with the dragon tattoo in the game yet.
What? You never ripped your shirt off in the game?
Never ripped my shirt off in the game.
I'm sure that's going to happen at some point.
Yeah, I must be fucking it up, but
you are the dragon of.
I know I am the dragon. I understand that as my nickname, but no, I think I just said
not like Red Dragon. No, but
the Red Rocket. No Red Rocket.
No.
Yeah, I think I just said chapter 4, chapter 5. So, and I think I looked just to see where I was. I want to say there's 12 chapters in the game, so I'm almost halfway through.
Yeah. You should definitely pick up some weapons and hit triangle and smash some stuff.
I picked up some weapons. I picked up a traffic cone and beat somebody with it the other day.
I think the number one thing that there's usually a lot of bicycles around, so I'll grab a bike, and then when they get in that spot, he just runs and jumps in the air and smashes the bike on their face. So
it's a good time. I really
Yeah.
like you. Like I said, I want to buy Kiwami too because it's got like really good high praise. But man, $35 for a lot of money.
So Kiwami uses the older engine that they used for the PS3 and when they first transitioned to PS4. But Kiwami 2 actually uses the engine that they used to make Yakuza 6. Yeah, and the one that they're making with that whatever that new game is.
Project Judge.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Oh god, that game looks so good.
Yeah, I watched some dude play like an hour of that. It's already out in Japan.
It looks real good.
It looks exactly like Yakuza, but
I'm okay with that.
even crazier fighting because he's like jumping off walls and shit.
Perfect.
But
Perfect. I played a little bit more Stardew Valley with friends of the show, Chris and Garrett. The old online mode that was it's fun because I haven't played any Stardew Valley. It's a good time.
Nope.
I still
finished
delivering stuff to that lady.
Yeah, still delivering. Yep, still trying.
Still meeting her expectations.
Still meeting those. Yeah, well, I don't know about meeting them, but I'm bringing her just enough. You know what I'm saying? She says it's just the right size.
She telling everybody that, or
yeah, it's probably not
She's
just
a
me that she's
liar.
saying it to. Yeah, she's probably bullshitting me, but you know, it's fine.
Yeah.
I finished Yoku's Island Express. That game is real good. Either of you guys played that, right?
No, I think just Ralph.
I've bought it, but I haven't played it.
You have bought it. Yeah, you haven't played it yet. I finished it at like 54 or 60% of the way completed because there's a bunch of side shit you can still do after the game is over. That game is just charming. It is extremely charming, a lot of fun. If you like pinball at all, the physics and pinball ishness of the game is just a lot of fun. I enjoyed my time with Yoku's Island Express. I thought the quest felt fun. The fast travel does not feel so good, but the game itself just felt. It was just a good time.
Did you see any of Jack Black playing pinball on his new YouTube channel?
No, I didn't see any of that. I saw
Jablinski.
Yeah, Jablinski. I didn't watch any of it though.
He's playing some old ass pinball. Like he keeps making these videos that are like 30 seconds long, and they're getting millions of views.
Of course they are, because 30 seconds is nothing.
Yeah, he's only got 3. He's gonna have 1 more tomorrow.
Perfect. Yeah, no. Yoku's definitely a game of the year contender. It was a lot of fun.
That came out this year?
Last year.
Okay.
Yeah, last year.
Well, yeah, sorry, that's what I meant. Forget what is it, 11 days in or 10 days in?
10 days into 2019. It came out last year, though. So
that reminds me, I need to return that copy of XCOM 2 tomorrow, or they charge me for it.
You should do that.
Yeah, I need to do that.
I also finished Donut County on the Switch, which again I highly recommend that game to anyone listening. That game is just a lot of fun. You play as a little raccoon who deploys donuts, aka holes in the ground, and you use that to suck up or pull in different items and objects in the world to then make the hole bigger, so that way you encompass the entire level, and then the levels go on from there. It is a great, simple little game with fantastic music and a fun story. It was a good time.
I heard I was listening to some guy talk about that game and review it. He was talking about how he puts a lot of stuff in the hole in his mouth and it never gets any bigger. But Donut County, that's all that happens to that hole. You keep putting stuff into it, it gets bigger.
Physically, Donut County teaches you that the more things you put in the hole, the bigger the hole gets. That's not always the case.
He was trying it. He was putting a bunch of stuff in his mouth, and
not always the case when you do it freeform. So
but don't try this at home.
Don't try this at home. Donut County though definitely picked it up. Tony, pick that game up. Your kids would like it.
I've heard about it. Yeah.
And last that I played was Florence on iOS. That was the game was like $1 or $2 on iOS. It's a game that I'd heard back from like April or May that people were really liking it. I threw it on my iTunes wish list. I never picked it up. And then reading through Game of the Year list, people brought it back up again. I was like, oh shit, I forgot about that game. Basically, that game just puts together really well used graphics and puts the mobile phone use kind of high on the list.
Like good level 3 graphics, or
maybe good level 3, possibly even good level 4. Just the way that they use a phone to do the things that they're doing in the game. they talk about it on the Giant Bombs Game of the Year. The big moment of the game is you are a girl who is trying to find a relationship, finds a relationship with somebody, and it's just you progressing through, the early stages of a relationship, through the fun parts, and then to the part of you end up breaking up with this person in this game. And
Is it a clean break? There's a bad one.
it doesn't seem like it's very clean. The part of the game that's really rough is it is basically giving you all these scraps of paper that you then have to put back together. But as you're putting these pieces of paper back together to turn it into the photograph of you and your then ex.
Oh no! Does Nickelback start playing?
No, not Nickelback.
Oh.
The photograph floats away from itself. So you can put like 2 or 3 pieces of this puzzle together, and as you're trying to figure out what goes next, the pieces are drifting away, as if to show that the relationship, no matter how hard you try, is just drifting away. And it's kind of powerful stuff. It was about 45 minutes long. It was not a very long game, and for, like I said, $2 was very well worth it. But it did some very cool things on the mobile device that I didn't know games could do. The way they use that, and that turning it to portrait mode, turning it up and vertical, doing slide things with your finger. It just did some pretty innovative, what I felt was innovative ideas on a mobile platform. That was Florence for iOS. I really liked it.
When they make a game that short, do they roll credits at the end of that?
I think there was some credits at the end of that. Yeah.
Yeah, if they would have put photograph at the end of those credits, would it have been Game of the Year?
It would have been Game of the Year for sure. Yeah. No question in my mind. Photograph. Anytime Nickelback is used in a video game, it's automatic Game of the Year.
Have they been used that much? And besides, like, they probably were in a Guitar Hero game or something, right?
I don't think so. Just that Spider-Man movie.
Yeah. I wonder if they were in the Spider-Man game.
No, that's Stone Sour, you dickhead.
No, it's fucking Chad Kroger and Josie Scott from
that Hero Can Wait business. What was that? Was that Spider-Man?
Oh, Hero Can Save Us.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
I thought you were talking about that song, Brother.
No, it's Bother, you dipshit, not Brother.
Yeah, okay.
Brother. Don't start with a song called Brother. They have a song called Bother, you dumbass.
So you're correct.
Yes, I am correct. But yeah, I think that is everything that I have played for the last few weeks. It has been a lot. It's been a long time since we've been together, so it's good to get some games in. I'm on vacation next week, so we'll see what games I'm able to play going into next week and going into our Game of the Year list. But since that's everything that we've been playing. I don't have much of a topic for you guys this week, but since we have you here, Tony,
all right,
I won't be here. I know you won't be here next week. You can always chime in, and I know you do through text or through Facebook messages. Why don't you give us a little tease of Game of the Year? Why don't you tell us Tony Welch's 2018 Games of the Year?
That's tough, man. So, like I told you earlier, Dragon Quest is coming in pretty hot.
Yeah.
I think for me, the undisputed Game of the Year is God of War.
Sure.
It's the only game in, a long time that I've actively wanted to go back and play.
Right.
I am typically a guy that plays one game at a time, or like one major title at a time, and dedicate my time that way. And when it's done, it's done. I don't play the DLC. I don't do none of that shit.
Yep.
So God of War is really pulling me back for the cinematography of it. Man, the video capture, the motion cap. It's an amazing experience, and I think that I'm pretty close to ready to reinvest in it.
Sure.
Because I know that by no means did I complete that game really the first time around. I know there's a lot of stuff I missed, and different gear you can grind for, and materials to forge and all that stuff. So, plus I just missed those two dwarfs.
They're pretty good.
Those guys are hilarious. So, I think that'll be good. I think that's going to be Game of the Year, but probably runner up is gonna be between Dragon Quest and Red Dead. Red Dead 2 is such a great game. I I was just conflicted with how open and realistic it was. I gotta brush my horse. I gotta eat. I got this. I'm underweight. I'm severely underweight. I'm dehydrated.
Hold on. When have you ever been underweight?
Yeah, I know. That's why
Yeah.
it kept me for so long.
That game is not very realistic. It's way easier to lose weight in that game than in real life.
You don't hop on.
Yeah.
You don't hop on keto in Red Dead Redemption 2.
I think where for me, I didn't give Red Dead as fair of a shake is like some of that really in-depth exploration. Like I've seen shit online now that there's the devils in it, and you can find these like ancestral brother and sister.
Yeah, I found those guys. They tried to eat me.
Oh yeah, see exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
I didn't have that.
There's so
Actually,
much.
no, they stole from me. There's a different people that were trying to be cannibals, but those two they steal from you and throw you in some pit.
Can you go back to being Arthur Morgan in that game?
I haven't been able to. I don't know. That'd
I
be
don't think
kind
you
of crazy.
can, right? I mean,
You can
Spoiler.
go find you can go find something of his somewhere.
You can find his
Yeah,
grave.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, so there's some things that I haven't really done the housekeeping on in Red Dead 2. I kind of got to the point where I was ready to finish the game, and I beelined some of the chapter quests and just finished it off.
And you went to Sean's wedding because he's totally alive and didn't die. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been trying to find Gavin too. So
Gavin's a guy.
yep. So that game was a really great experience. It starts out rough, and you're probably 4 or 5 hours in before you're really.
Wait, are you talking about the guy who's like wandering around saying I can't find my
Yeah.
So I found his friend and I accidentally picked Rob instead of talk to him.
Oh no!
So I did not get to hook them up because I tried to rob him and he ran away from me.
But what I really liked about Red Dead that really brought me in was it's got to be the first game in a long time that I've like really felt like I was role playing as the character. So like I didn't have to do it, but I'm like, oh, my hair's getting a little long. Let me go way out of my fucking way.
Let me go get a haircut.
Get a haircut right now. Let me get that sweat back fade.
Yep.
So yeah, that game's
the immersion levels in that game are second to none.
I agree. The drawback I have on it, it's nowhere. I don't think it deserves anywhere close to the credit that it gets for visualization. I don't think the game looks that great. To be honest with you.
Yeah, even the like lightning storms and stuff.
Environmentally, I think is where it shines. But like the character, I mean, if you put Arthur Morgan, visual just headshot next to Kratos, I'm telling you, Kratos looks like he's the more realistic guy, even though I know that he's just a god-killing nobody. So, yeah, it is visually achieving something that I don't think any other game is going to reach for a while, just in an open world space. But that's kind of where I'm at. There's a hodgepodge of other games. Dragon Quest is up there. I played Legend of Zelda and Super Mario Odyssey, which were both great this year. I don't know if we're going on games that I played.
It's your list.
Year.
You can do whatever. Yeah, it's your list, man. You do whatever you want.
I think even some of the lists of Giant Bomb, they were putting games from like last year that they never got to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I had a really great time with Mario Odyssey. Definitely, I think definitely the best Mario game I played, even over like Super Mario World. I just wanted to keep going and finding them fucking moons.
Oh yeah.
So
talk about a euphoric sensation is finding a moon.
Yeah, exactly right. And just the way that game has such diverse levels, where it's like you're in the quintessential. It was sort of a throwback for me to Super Mario 3, where it was Super Mario 3 was very environmentally driven. You had the ice world and you had the water world and you had the desert world. So I really like that aspect of it. And then you go to the moon and you're jumping halfway across the map. Like the whole experience is great. So Switch brought it for me though. I was finding excuses to buy Switch games and play the Switch this year. So
Good.
I'm looking forward to what they bring next year.
Yeah.
And like I said, I got a backlog of shit. Like I really want to play Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Really want to play the Hitman games, but I'm just not going to get to them anytime soon.
All right. Well, I think that's going to do it. Tony, thanks for being here. Thanks for giving us your game of the year, which is again God of War for Tony Welch with God of War Game of the Year 2018. I think we're going to do all of our categories next week. All 32 of them, or however many fucking games that we have. Our good friend of the show, Andrew Morgan, chimes in, just reminding everybody that he is the real Arthur Morgan. So if you want to talk about the realistic characters, you want to sign him up next to Kratos.
Talking from the grave.
He's speaking to me through text messages from the grave. Yeah.
Okay.
He's 6 foot deep on iCloud.
Come on, Dutch.
Yep. But yeah, we'll do game of the year. I think next week we'll talk at you for a long period of time, deliberating. Best visuals, worst game, but most disappointing game, best game of 2018, best old game, things like that. We'll talk to you all about that next week.
The Bee Gees one is difficult. I don't know.
You think Tony? One of our categories each year is a best this band song. This year it's the Bee Gees. What is the best Bee Gees song in your opinion?
I mean, it's got to be "Staying Alive," right?
I can't disagree with you, man. I can't tell you that that's not what mine is.
I must have been probably I must have been at least 25 before I realized the Bee Gees weren't black dudes. And it's all from that song.
Yeah.
And the fact that they sound so much like, Earth, Wind, and Fire and Motown and other places. So yeah, Staying Alive is so quintessential.
I mean, I didn't think I knew if they were white. I didn't know who they were really. I knew the Bee Gees, but until Justin Timberlake and Jimmy Fallon started doing the Barry Gibb talk show, that's when I was like, oh, what?
Yeah. Staying Alive, Saturday Night Fever.
What do they talk like when they're not singing? Does it sound anything like what they?
I don't know, but on the Barry Gibb talk show, they talk like this. It's a pretty good time. But yeah, Nights on Broadway is a good song. Staying Alive, I mean that's the song for me.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil mine. I can spoil it.
Tough song.
Keep it secret.
Keep it secret. You've got a secret.
Oh no, not that kind of secret.
Got a secret. Can you keep it?
It's good stuff. What are you guys looking to play next week? What are you guys thinking? What's on the docket?
Tales of Vesperia is in the mail right now.
Tales of Vesperia. Wow.
Yeah, it is in the mail. We'll see if I hate that game when it shows up.
I have a feeling you will.
I already have it for 360, but I've never played it.
So might as well get it on a newer console.
Yep, it's probably only going to look slightly better.
Sure. Tony, what's aside from wrapping up Dragon Quest and playing some Yakuza, what else are you thinking?
I could really use a short, sweet 5-6 hour experience. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to go through the backlog and see what might be kind of a sit down for 30 minutes at a time and kind of grind out a game for 5 or 6 hours.
I kind of wish there's more episodes of the Life is Strange season 2 up, because only
you know what I that Before the Storm could be a game I play.
That is a good game. I would suggest playing that game.
One was coming out pretty soon, a new episode.
Yeah, I think it comes out this month or early next month. But yeah, episode 2. But I want a little more than 2 episodes. But I mean, considering the first episode was what, September?
What is episode 2? Is that the Phantom Menace?
Yeah, Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
I watched Solo earlier today.
That's definitely episode 1. Oh yeah, so that's a Star Wars movie I have not watched yet.
What is the one for 2? What do they call it?
Attack of the Clones.
Oh well, Phantom Menace is a better name.
Solo, not a great movie.
I have heard such. Yes,
it's on Netflix now. Not a great movie.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah,
that's probably when I'll watch it then.
I watched most of Black Panther earlier also. because I've never seen Black Panther. That
Is it better than Solo?
Yes, much better than Solo. Solo's not great.
That movie sucked. I hate to be the devil's advocate, but I could not get over the fake African accents in
Black Panther. Oh, Wakanda forever.
Yeah, dude.
Can't do it.
I think anybody would be confused about Solo, like they might think they're watching gonna go watch a documentary about Solo cups, or you think,
see this big hairy dude hanging around. Yeah,
you think it's just known that it's a Han Solo movie.
I mean, the tagline is a Star Wars story, so if you don't know that's going in, then there's a problem.
There's probably some Solo cups in space, right? There's got to be some
for sure.
Yeah,
got to be for sure some Solo cups up there. So, all right, that's gonna do it for this week's edition of the Level Up Show podcast. Thanks for joining us, Tony. Thanks for being here this week and filling in.
Thanks for having me.
I appreciate it. We'll do it again. You've paid your dues fine. Did a great job, and I think we'll have you back as a third or fourth chair sometime.
I will always manage to fill in, if you know
Perfect.
what I'm saying.
I do know what you're saying. Ryan, thanks for being here.
Is he ever gonna make it to first chair?
No, I don't think that's unless I die, no one gets first chair. That's when it really happens.
Can I come on your wrestling podcast? That bit we talked about?
That thing's dead. That thing's been dead for a while.
Well,
we could revive. If you want to revive the Ring of Discussion, we could revive the Ring of Discussion.
I just really like the idea where I would call in
ask about dead people's matches.
My God, are you guys watching this match live right now? Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker?
Yeah. This Owen Hart match that's happening right now in Kansas City is.
Oh my God! He just fell.
It's a neck. Moving. It's a neck breaker. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to revive the Ring of Discussion, we've got a pretty great name and a pretty great theme song. So just let me know. But all right, we'll plan on being back in full capacity next week. Do Game of the Year, and then we'll progress with a great 2019 episode 180 in the books. That means we'll hit episode 200 this year. Holy shit! It's coming at you. 200 episodes of this show. That'll be a day.
All of the gyms. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna play all the Kingdom Hearts in a row just for episode 200.
You need to have a 200-hour live stream.
200-hour live stream.
Well,
you know, if you do the math, like 20 weeks of a show, that will. I mean, what is that?
You just gotta get good at them speed running. Like Awesome Games Done Quick is going on right now. If you could get your Kingdom Hearts skills going for that, you could stream them all back to back.
You could do like an extra live stream, but like in June instead, and do it for 200 hours. That seems like a good idea, right?
No one like we'll be dead after the first 24 hours.
You're not wrong. We'll start it when we all convene for E3, and we'll just go. Yeah. It'll be fine. All right. Yeah, that's it for this week. For Ryan, Ralph was on assignment. We're thinking of you, Ralph. For Tony, first time guest Tony, I am Derek. Level up.